Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Summit 3 presented by Gigabyte. It's the European qualifier phase number 2. It's an 8-team double elimination bracket. This is our very first series of it. What a series it's already been. Cloud9 versus NiP. NiP dominant game 1. Cloud9, 2 magnificent team fights. Yeah. And immediately NiP are like, you know, forget the base thing. We're just done here. We want to go to a game 3. Pretty crazy.
Basically what happened in the first game, too, is a couple stompy team fights, which led to a stupid advantage in a slightly drawn-out game. But, you know, NiP wanted to pull the plug a little bit before that. They were like, okay, we're not going to do what we just did to you. We can't go through that right now. Let's just play game 3. We'll start on a fresh, clean slate. Yeah. Try to win those first 2 fights.
Well, we'll have to see here if they can do it. Here is our draft, and look at this, how the Tades have turned. It's Nightstalker first pick for Cloud9, and even without access to Troll, as it's been obviously now banned out from NiP, they still go right back for the Magnus. I don't know if we'll have something else up their sleeve that maybe they thought of similar to the Troll, but NiP, they go again for the Chen and follow it up with a Luna. This is interesting drafts all day already.
Yeah, Luna's not drafted very often. The only other team I've seen drafted so far, at least lately, has been Era on NiP. So sure. Not too unexpected to see them pick it here. But I mean, I don't watch that many games, but maybe other teams are drafting it. But I've only seen NiP play it recently. Your hero has some issues. It's basically like your hero is only so ranged. There's a lot of carries that do way more physical DPS with less items, like Juggernaut. Omni Slash does way more. Obviously, Eclipse is really good, or whatever. It's still called Eclipse, right? Yep. Oh, nice. It's still called Eclipse.
Yeah.
Eclipse is a really good nuking damage aura or damage kind of a thing, but a lot of people can outplay it very easily. And most cases, the ganks come so fast and Luna's HP is so low that she just dies right at the start. So I think Luna is decent, but I think she's a little squishy right now. She was really popular a few TIs ago, but since then has kind of fallen off a bit. But you can still abuse Mask of Madness on her if you really want to. But she still has some squishiness issues, and she's pretty low range. So there's a lot of limitations that the hero gives you.
And as you already pointed out, it just feels interesting to see her picked up when you got stuff like Jug, who seems to be all the rage now, who can kind of do a lot of the same thing here. But getting a Luna instead, maybe going a bit more Siege. I mean, and you already have a Chen. This is like a push lineup already. Venomancer as well. This is getting crazy. This is like, I think they're going to push. But Cloud9 could see this, and they're like, okay, guys, it's time to consider what we're going to do to stop this push.
And what they did last game was not very severe, but it really worked well. And all they had to do was pick a support bounty hunter. And what that did is it limited the one hero that was going to be doing the ganking and the roaming on NiP. That was the hero that was going to gank lanes, going to push towers. If they delay his levels and they delay his farm with one simple counter hero, then all of a sudden your game is put into a place where you can't take towers very rapidly. And they defended their towers. They never lost their bot tier 1. When that happens against a Chen, you're like going to lose the game no matter what. Because you need to get those gold advantages with Chen and some of those level advantages and translate that into gold advantage, which translates to team fight wins and experience advantages. And they didn't get that last game due to the bounty hunter roaming. So that's what they maybe have to ban here. I don't know if Cloud9 will pick it here or if they're going to wait till the last, but I expected to see it again because that was really the linchpin in the counter, other than the good team fights.
The thing I worry about, though, is even if they did want to go for the bounty hunter again, it's very apparent that NiP are going even more into the push than they did in the previous game, and just committed to a Skywrath Mage who's not very good at de-pushing, not really good at clearing out waves. You can Arcane Bolt a couple of them, but it's not like you drop a Mystic Flare and all of a sudden the creep wave's gone. So if you go with him and a bounty hunter, you really don't have a lot as far as defense goes. I mean, we could see a Big Daddy Earthshaker still pop up, which could help out a bit, but they're going to commit for the Jug here as the 4th grab, which leads me to believe this is a mid lane Fata Night. Actually, I say that, but Big Daddy did recently play a 4-position Nightstalker, so it could be a mid, could be a 4. NiP, though, now they pick up the offlane Clockwork.
Okay, so the issue, I guess, you're right, they can't pick Bounty Hunter now. I didn't think about that as Nightstalker being a support. But they can't really pick Bounty because they already have NS, so they can't really counter it in the same direct way. The other thing that they did really well last game that prevented Ninjas and Pajamas from doing things was they just took a really fast Roche, and that forced NiP to come across the map to contest it. And ultimately, they did get the Aegis, but they lost the hero immediately afterwards. So it went pretty okay for them, but the fights after were really one-sided. So if Cloud9 can create a lot of pressure on the map and prevent NiP from pushing towers, if they don't play static, it'll force NiP to react, and then NiP can't do the tower pushing stuff that they want to do.
Wow. Well, NiP read it as possibly a Fata Nightstalker. They ban out the bounty hunter here.
That's fair, because they could do off-lane Magnus, I guess, and mid Night Stalker if they want to shift their lanes. The bounty was really what screwed over the Chen, so I think NiP can still force pushes, though. That's the reason they picked up Clockwork, because they're hoping to get a hook shot onto a hero like Skywrath Mage. They don't want Juggernaut, obviously, or Magnus even is kind of bad because he can just skewer out. But if they grab Night Stalker or Juggernaut to start the fight, or Skywrath Mage or a support or something like that, it'll be okay for them. That's assuming they have a gold advantage. I think it'll go okay. I mean, they'll have Healing Ward, and they've got Jug Spin to stop things like the Luna ult. That's really where most of the damage is coming from. Vena ult, Luna ult. That's it. Chen's going to be pushing, Clock's hoping for a solo kill, but it's really Disruptor. So
they can get an Ancient Apparition here. You ever seen the Ancient Apparition Venomancer? It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah,
you put that on top of the Luna ultimate.
So you get no regen, and the amount of damage the Vena ult has to do is a lot lower.
Plague.
I think that would be a pretty bad pick, though. Then they're super committed to one core. They would have no other damage other than Luna. That means if Luna dies at the start of the fight, fight's over. Assuming Venom doesn't get a good ulti off, and they grab a Shadow Shaman, which is
more push.
It's more push, but it Shadow Shaman has a really good damage component. His Ether Shock is really spammable. It's like a 7-second cooldown. His ultimate's really good for pushing. They don't have to rely on Luna, and the creeps hitting the tower, they can just drop the wards, sit Luna there with the Chen creeps. We should have dead towers. I'm curious why they're going so all in on push, though. Is this something... I mean, I haven't seen NiP really do this that much recently. In the last set I watched 2 days ago, they picked things like Storm, they aim for late game. It wasn't as all in. Maybe they just fear Cloud9, so they're trying to do these push strats instead. Maybe this is something they've been practicing the last 2 days. I don't know.
It definitely doesn't... Of the games I've seen... Now, when we were doing Star Ladder last season, that's when NiP really made a name for themselves. They were more diving and sieging for heroes, getting those kills. They would throw together minus armor lineups with Slardar, Bristle, and they would just go for the kills and build a good advantage, similar to what we saw in game number 1. Game number 3 here, though, yeah, it's all in with this push. And I still can't help but feel like Cloud9 don't have a lot. I mean, what do they have to help take down the wards? It's more of they have to get into those wards and right-click them down. You know, the benefit of like someone just kind of getting them from afar. And now they're committing with a Bat Rider here. So it's looking like a Night Stalker 4-position mid lane Magnus. So they had a very flexible lineup. I'm sure NiP didn't really know where they were going to be, but it feels more like NiP like, we have a game plan. We're going to go with that. We're just going to ban out anything you could get that can kind of stop us from doing this. But we know what we want to do, and we're looking to get it done. And Cloud9 almost feels like a bit of the same thing. I mean, not having a whole lot to prepare for the anti-push. It seems like maybe they're going to go very aggressive very early. At least if that's what they want to... That's what they did last time with, you know, Big Daddy on this Night Stalker, what we saw from the 4-position Night Stalker in Game 1. It's just getting aggressive really quick. Taking advantage of even that first Nightfall at 4 minutes in, and hoping to have the advantage there. But it feels like a clash of two very different play styles.
Yeah, it does. And they don't have the nice counter with the bounty, so I think things are going to be a lot tougher this game. I like how they rushed to put the Observer Ward down on the off-lane ward. It looks like they're actually going to contest this. We almost never see people contest runes lately. They just trade. They're like, I'll take our safe and you can take your safe. And it's kind of dangerous to go for runes, but they're actually pretty good at level 1. If you look at NiP's draft, they have a Luna who's just going to be right-clicking. They have Shadow Shaman who's decent. Veno is okay, but Chen is pretty useless, so that's like 2 useless heroes. They could potentially get kills here, and actually what they're going to try to do is skewer to the high ground. But the Dire team also did ward. They put a ward up on the high ground, so they're going to be able to see these guys. I believe oh, actually you can't see through the trees. I'm sorry. So they actually don't know they're here, and that's why they're hiding by these trees. They're going to wait till the Dire team comes down, and they're going to try to cliff somebody, is what they'll do. They'll say, oh, it's just Bat Rider here, guys, come on. But they're backing up.
Trying to do the early stick, but it looks like they don't want anything to do with it. They'll allow Cloud9 to get that top bounty, and they'll just secure Limp the bottom one, it looks like. So mid lane Venomancer, as Limp will head back, and I can kind of just move through this. Jonas is going to be playing your off-lane Clockwork. Something I saw... I can't remember who did it. One of the Eastern teams, they were going against very, predictable off-lane Clockwork. They had a Lina +1 commit to coming over here on the side and just removing the trees right at the start of the game, so he could not do stuff like this. You think that's of value? It definitely threw him off, and they got to be able to dominate the lane pretty quickly, but to do those kind of cheeky tactics where things become a bit too predictable and you kind of catch them off their footing. It could be interesting to see if more teams develop something like that.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but it probably costed them tangos, right, to come over.
They just used a light strike array to break down the trees, and then that was it. Okay. And then he could not properly block the creeps inside those tree line with the cogs.
You only have to kill one tree, I guess. This one over here is the way to do it. But I mean, the reason that Clockworks do this is so that the creep waves get messed up, and then they're able to get more experience.
You're still good, but I am in slideshow a bit. It's a bit hiccupy. Looks like we're back underway. Okay. It was only me. All right, we're good.
So Clock just wants to mess up the creep equilibrium. That way he can get a couple extra levels. Because him getting 6 is really important. Because once he hits 6, he's ready to gank. And Clockwork doesn't really focus that much on farming. So if he sits in a lane for 20 minutes, you're playing Clock wrong. You need to hit 6, and you need to move around the map and go for kills. So the faster he hits 6, the faster he can leave the lane and go try to make space on the map. So it's really important that he does get 6 rapidly. They actually didn't block the camp here. This is going to allow Misery to pull. Misery's going to get experience out of this. He's going to get gold out of this. And it's going to deny gold from Clockwork as well. But he continues to try to mess up the creep wave. He's doing some work here, but he's got 2 range creeps stack up now. So he's not going to get much for very long.
It's going to be pushed very far forward. He's got to make sure he keeps eyes on top lane where Big Daddy is, because once he starts going on a Roman adventure, he could pop up next to him, and then you could be in a bit of trouble here. But Big Daddy has eyes on towards the 2-minute top room, which will be scouted out from the nearby Hanskin Satyr, so he's not going to be able to move forward, getting blocked back, actually. And your bounty room will be picked up from Seal Kid. That will leave a regen at the bottom here for Jonas, so NiP do claim both of those. And, well, as far as on paper, Fata off to a nice start on his Magnus, 11-1, side by side with their Jug, Eternal Envy here in the bottom lane, going against that Clockwork. No surprise, just pretty much can find all the CS he wants. Misery's able to easily zone back the Clockwork, deal with the pulls, and really, now he scouts him out. There's going to be the concussive shot, and yeah, just a little bit of footsie play here to get the Clockwork away from any sort of easy XP.
This is pretty normal for Skywrath Mage. You end up sending a lot of your mana pool just in an attempt to lower his HP. He does deny the Clarity Potion, which is a small victory for him, but he might die here, although he may like last anymore. He also has to be careful of the power clogs. If you're playing Jug, you have to make sure that you don't get your mana drained, because if you get your mana drained, you can't really spin, you can't do much other than right-clicking, which is, not that bad for Jug anymore. But
this is a bit of an awkward engagement at the top lane. They actually move past the tower to Bone 7 and Big Daddy, but then they quickly pull back, and Chen's nearby, smoked up. And they're looking to flank in. They get the grab onto Big Daddy here, and yeah, with a stump follow-up, there's nothing he can do. And that's going to be your first blood. Beautiful first gate coming out from Hanskin on his Chen, and they punish the Night Stalker in this top lane. And that forces Bone 7 back and away. He's got no more mana, so he's going to take the long flight back to base. He has 1,000 gold, so it's not too shabby for him, and he's been able to throw together some good CS on the Batrider, 14-0, but now Era can work with this top lane without too much threat.
I like the trend of the supports getting null talismans in lane now. I think it's pretty interesting. Just makes your harass a lot better. It gives you a bonus 9 damage, so zoning the offlaner becomes easier, and just the extra HP and armor and damage it gives you. Just all that stuff is really good. And even the mana pool. I mean, if you think of a Clarity Potion, it gives you 150 mana or something like that. Well, 6 int gives you about 90, so in some ways, it's obviously much more expensive than a Clarity Potion is, but it kind of gives you a lot of the same things that would have. It even gives you 60 HP, which is not bad. They get a creep out of that, 60 gold. Extra going to Mag. A little closer to his Blink then. He's also got a stick. It's for all the Plague Wards that are being casted.
Yeah. Limp is...
How's the CS going? He's actually ahead in Magnus. This Fada, man.
Venomancer mid is something that NiP have used to run a lot. When they had 8 Mother on the team before Limp, it was something he did all the time, and it was really good. At that point, it was all axe all day. So that those big blink initiators, you had those wards to throw down the back lines, and they wouldn't be able to easily blink forward. But it is Nightfall, and Big Daddy is on the hunt for Seal Kid here. Scouts him out, but now it would be a little too deep.
Fada might get a solo kill mid. He is going to get it. Big kill there.
Big grab. That DD certainly helps out, and big drop onto the Venomancer right there.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten it without the DD. What he basically did was I think you're staying still for a little bit, I'm going to do a range skewer, and he ended up catching him, and then with a shockwave and 2 right clicks on top of that and the DD, it was enough. So that was a really big kill there by Fada, and that's, again, issues with Venomancer. You can get solo killed. The hero's only so good, and the more I see him played, I just don't think he's in a bad place right now. The hero really needs a buff, I think. I don't know what his win rate's like, but I feel like people playing in pro games has good ideas, but the hero keeps getting behind.
Yeah, definitely have seen different teams do different things. While we've seen teams like NiP run them in the mid lane, you still see sometimes that side lane Venomancer or off lane Venomancer where you just kind of build up a lot of durability so that when you finally are like, okay guys, we got to deal with the Venomancer, he's pushing our side lane, you make that committed jump and you will bring him down, but you will be walking away pretty badly beaten just from all the poison and dot damage that you're not going to be able to go for another engagement. So I guess it could be essentially space created from the Venomancer, or if you get that good rotation, you can take a good counter fight. So he's just kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. You're definitely going to be eating a lot of damage when you take down the Venomancer, unless you got that, dramatic CC lockdown or silence. You could just have your hands full with him, and when he's in this core position, he gets levels real fast, could sneak in a quick veil, and that's when things can get a bit sticky. But I do agree he's in a bit of an awkward place. A lot of teams kind of just brush him off and find someone else that they can fill the mid lane with for now.
So Bone 7 currently in the jungle getting farm. He actually grabbed a flame break level, which is most likely just used to potentially save himself from Chen creeps and things. If they get too close, push him away, he'll be much more survivable there. And in the meantime, Big Daddy was sitting in the off lane and was able to get level 3. He's got about half a nighttime left. He can go for a gank, it's level 3. So Krypton Fury could use, and he's going to grab a smoke. Probably ganking mid, I guess. He did, somebody ping mid, I don't know who that was, but he could definitely gank mid. There's actually a haste on Fodder right now. If he TPs to lane, he could go for it. Oh, he TP'd bottom, actually.
Oh, no.
He's going to try to get the clock, I guess. He's a little bit too far away. Clock didn't stick around.
Cooldown too, yeah. Could have been a good time to make a go, but...
Could have gone mid there. I feel like he should have maybe gone mid instead. That's a very easy dive on... Well, maybe not super easy. I guess there isn't that much damage on Magnus and him. The Venom would have gotten his ultimate off, which would have been a bit scary. But
and Envy has his Omni Slash on cooldown. Must have missed when he actually used it, or maybe made an attempt onto the clockwork and maybe an unfortunate creep wave or something, but currently doesn't have it right now, so it must have happened meanwhile on the side.
He does have a kill, so maybe it was that. Good wards to scout out the mid lane. This one's really good to place. It's kind of difficult. There's not a lot of times you're over there as the Radiant team, and you have to be a bit careful. If you put it too close to the tower, it'll get dewarded, but I'm sure he knows the right spot.
They're going to get Misery top lane. Just easy dive behind the tower, but Fata follows it up. Nice two-man RP, but there's nothing else to add on top of it. He does have the haste rune, so he can kind of dance around him. Seal Kid, big shockwave. He's going to pop the wand. Makes it through, gets blocked. That chicken. Running pretty damn fast. Fata able to step away. He wants to get one more big shockwave. At least we'll clear out some of the creeps, but they can't quite get Seal Kid, as he will be able to TP away. So it's the one-man takedown for NiP.
He got a Dark Troll and a couple Skeletons. That was about 80 gold. It was an okay shockwave. Not as good as a hero kill, obviously, but they do get the tower. So NiP making a big difference from the last game. They're able to take tower very rapidly, and that's really, look how different the Chen has been played. Because he's got way more levels. He's almost level 6 at level 8. At 8 minutes, he's got Arcane Boots already. They're able to take a tower. He's got 2 kills. He got ganks off. He's been doing, it's a lot easier to play Chen when you have to deal with a bounty hunter, basically.
Easy bounty rune here for bottom. Jonas is actually going to hand it off to Limp here. Eternal Envy thinking about following him, but gets blocked by the cogs. Now is his Omni Slash back up, ready to go. And now with Phase Boots on hand, no Morbid Mask yet. Just kind of waits it out for now. But the big thing is that Bone 7 now has his Blink Dagger complete from jungling.
And Fada.
Buys a smoke and Fada. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he misskilled a little bit. The Batrider's skill build is not ideal, but maybe he did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, no.
To say like,
lasso.
oh well, I'll farm faster because I'm not gonna gank until I'm not gonna lasso somebody until I blink anyways, and I will almost have blink. So why not just get more levels of? It's that, or that's all I'm gonna give him. That or I mean, but it happens. You miss skill sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe he. I mean, I personally, when I level up, I almost always press my hotkey to level up because I'm like, I want to level up right away. But sometimes it'll be in the middle of the fight, and then I'll try to cast a spell, and I'll be trying to level up, and I mess it up, and it's. Could be something like that as well. No tail getting hexed, actually. This could be a good turn, though, because they're coming in. There's the silence as well. They don't need lasso, really. Just chase people down, but it damage. But actually, the Eclipse turning finally. And the mistake.
This could make it 3. Oh.
Shockwave, although...
He's able to pull back. He still has the RP, but not quite using it. Era is very low, but here
comes
good hiding
spot. He's going to get spotted, though, and that's going to be a nuke. There it is.
Zap.
Good attempt.
A 3-man drop, all of it going to Seal Kid. Triple kill for your Shadow Shaman. You don't get to see that very often, but I don't know, Purge. I mean, you're saying that at first maybe the lasso wasn't important, but do you think it could have been a change? I mean, you could have ended up grabbing Era there. Era was very low by the end of it. I mean, if it was a misclick, if it was something like, oh, maybe I should have taken the extra moment to get that XP, these are questions that we will not know the answers to, but...
They need some reliable damage on the Luna. Oh, great skewer back on the Venom, and what is he going to do about it? He's going to cast Poison and walk, and that's all he can do. Hero's dead again.
Hero's dead again. Gets out everything he can, but Fata's just like, no problem, I'll go back to base, heal on up, and it's not going to matter a whole lot. But the backstaff of NiP now smoked up here. Oh, they come across Eternal Envy, get the instant Hex, and he just goes for the spin and TP. And they're not...
Oh, he gets netted!
The net! Oh, convenient troll in the army of Handskin.
Oh,
and here comes Jonas. They get a nice grab onto Eternal Envy. How unfortunate for him that this pesky little Dark Troll Summoner is able to be there and just... He doesn't care about your spinning Blade Fury. He doesn't care about your BKBs. He's going to lock you in place regardless.
What a big kill. And they drop wards on top of that as well, so now there's no way the Radiant team can contest, and the game is very different than the previous one. There will be a gank on Era here. There's the RP. This should be a very easy kill. Couple nukes, and didn't need Lasso that time.
Yeah, didn't have mana for it though either. But yeah, I would hope that only just the one big ultimate would have got the job done, and it does. So Bone 7 now will farm this out. But yeah, as pointed out before, NiP, they'll be able to secure this Roche. And it looks like they're going to give it to the Venomancer. So.
He does die a lot. That's Veno. I mean, look what he bought. He bought a Treads and a Bracer. He's like, all right, I'm just feeding. I mean, if we think of what Fata did last game, he went Blink Dagger, but he still wasn't tanky. Veno's in a tough place. If he's just so simple to gank. The hero has such bad movement speed. It's like 285 or something. Yeah. It's not good. It's very easy to get ganked, and you can't stop it. Well, and you go these skill builds as well with Max Poison Sting and Max Plague Ward, so you getting a kill isn't going to happen either. So if you can't kill them, all you can do is farm, and you get ganked. There's a higher chance than not that you're going to end up negative in KDA.
It feels like his job. This is one of the few lineups where they go for something like a Venomancer just so they can make these pushes happen, make this kind of pressure. The wards would still, they do help out. If he gets back wards, you know, it not only just helps the push and the counter push, but it can prevent these Blink Dagger people like your Magnus, like your Batrider from getting the easy setup because of one lingering little Poison Sting attack. Next thing you know, you're waiting for 5 seconds and you can't blink anywhere, and it's unfortunate. Even when you're trying to, you know, run away and use a Blink Dagger, it's hard, but you're making go. Mid lane, tier 1 going to be glyphed. Hookshot is going to miss, but now they turn onto Limp. They get the lasso and the pullback from Bone 7. Eternal Envy. Uh-oh, Cotton Cogs pulls out the spin, and now the TP. This time there'll be no Dark Troll Summoner, so he will make it away. No one ends up going down, but all the meanwhile, while they only rotated a couple towards the mid, the rest of the NiP, they push here on the bottom. Tier 2, eating a lot of damage here with this little Chen army to soak it all up. They could take it down.
Got Eclipse at the ready as well, so if they try to defend this, it might not go so well. Chen pops his heal to keep people up a bit. Venomancer almost died there. Yeah. It was... Looks like Magnus going for a kill. His RP just came off cooldown. So, Venomancer doing the only thing he can do when somebody jumps on him, puke on him.
Well, we'll see. NiP now, after clearing out both towers there on the bottom, they got the tier 1 top lane. They're going to get the tier 1 mid. Shouldn't be too much problem here as long as Limp still has that Aegis. He'll just kind of happily dish out all of his Venomancer juice while he can. And it looks like tier 1 will drop. Fata with RP. Has Invis, looking for an opportunity to get a hold of some of this NiP squad, but no one really together. Henskin is nearby.
He's at a really good positioning there. He's not showing with his main hero, only showing with his creeps. Really smart.
And this is Nightfall as well. Your Night Stalker, who has been pretty quiet as of recent, is not really available to offer a whole lot in these kind of situations. The pressure continues to mount up, and now with wards being dropped, this tier 2 is in trouble. And NiP continue to be nicely spread. So if Fata doesn't have an easy RP target,
makes it pretty tough. Era on a good position too. He's got great vision because it's because of Lunar Blessings. They know exactly where the bat is.
Nice stuff.
Really hard to initiate. Another tower falls, and now we're seeing the power of Chen. So Cloud9 only has 1 tower taken. They've lost 5, so the gold disadvantage must surely be hurting them.
It's
NiP
4K.
It's pretty moderate. It's definitely still something that they can fight against, and that's basically why we're in the comeback gold lifestyle now, is because of basically strats that NiP is doing right now. The strat they're doing is almost completely reminiscent of what we saw at the TI4.
Yes.
Towards the end, that newbie picked up a lot. They're going to have Clockwork take some damage. He'll be okay, though.
Yeah.
But it basically says, like, oh, well, you have a gold advantage, but we still want to have a chance to win this game. That way people don't just pick push strats every game. And that's part of the reason people don't even play push strats anymore in most cases. But they still work. You just got to end the game. It's the important part.
Gone with the days of your Razor and Death Prophet. Though sometimes they'll pop up time and time. But yeah, overall, it's just when you continue to build up such a huge avalanche of advantage, that just means it can easily flip the other way if something does end up disastrous for them. So, well, NiP with this early boost not only just gets so much from taking down the towers as far as gold, but now they have access across the map. I would not be surprised if maybe they consider picking up something like a gem at this point, just so they can kind of maintain the vision across the map and force C9 in a bit of a situation where they don't have a lot of places to safely farm. And with what limited farm spaces they got to make sure it's only for like Eternal Envy or maybe Fata while the supports continue to starve. And heroes like your Night Stalker, are going to be out of fighting shape when normally they're, you know, supposed to be really being the bully at this point in the game. I mean, it's been Nightfall, and he is 0-2-1. I just haven't seen a lot from the Night Stalker at this point, unfortunately.
They did smoke right under our Radiant wards, so NiP might be in trouble here. They're drawing it on the map as well. They know where they're going. They're going to gank the safe lane. So all of the heroes will retreat. In fact, they did a bit of split pushing first. This is good. It means them taking this tier 2 tower is very unlikely because they're going to have to push it all the way down before they can go in.
Yeah.
Instead, they steal the ancient stacks that the Radiant team is working with. Not that they were going to clear that. I guess they could have with Empower. Could have cleared the stacks. They're actually smoking themselves. They're trying to initiate. Somebody's and 2 people aren't here actually. EE isn't here, and he's only got Mask of Madness right now. And the other hero is going to be No Tail, who's moving out across the map.
It popped out the Night Stalker ultimate. Maybe that got NiP a little bit nervous as far as what's going on. And they begin to spread out, committing 2 to the top and going back and farming on up here. So for Era, really the late game presence here for NiP. You know, Helm of the Dominator, Yasha. And, you know, you could only show me the inventory, and this could be any of 6 different heroes that we've been seeing as of recent.
Yeah.
I'm curious if he's just going to be going down that same kind of road with your Luna now. Do you think it's just going to be the old standard Luna build up, or is it Sage and Yasha? This is going to go right for a Manta build.
You mostly see BKBs on Luna, but against an Empower or against a Magnus and a Batrider that's 2 years that's stunning through, ooh, dead hero.
Yeah, they get Limp here on the bottom lane. That was set up with an RP and an Omni Slash, so a lot of hate for Limp.
It's worth it if you're behind to just spend the big cooldowns. But BKB doesn't really protect you against the stuns that they're throwing out, so I think he might just focus. He does grab a Ogre Club, so maybe we'll still make a BKB, but it's kind of the problem with the hero. Your HP is pretty low, and you have to be in a pretty close range to use your Eclipse correctly, so you kind of have to get a BKB, but you don't really want to get a BKB because then it limits your damage output. It makes you pretty much just an Eclipse hero. So he kind of needs BKB, but to counter the Jug, he also needs a Manta to be able to tank the Omni Slashes, so he kind of needs BKB, Manta, and then from there he gets items. So usually Luna doesn't get really scary until the 3rd item or so, compared to a hero like Juggernaut who, you know, if he's not disabled, he kills anybody with a Mask of Madness kind of a thing.
So the thing with the heroes, you really need a lot to be a big presence, whereas nowadays a lot of the heroes that you see picked up don't need as much. But I guess when you pick up Luna together with these big objective pushing lineups, you're expected to bring in a huge surplus of gold sooner than later. So it does offer heroes like Luna to come online faster than you really used to expect here. But Cloud9 trying their best to prevent this early push engagement as they keep everything back here for now. 35 seconds before Fata will have the RP ready to go, and Envy will just head back to his Ancient Stack to farm up. He's got 3,500 gold on his Jug, already with the Phase and Mask of Madness here. Probably looking to build up. Could see a Manta out of him as well at this point, maybe to split out the Eclipse, kind of the same way that both these heroes are the same character form where you just want to do your best to mitigate that big ultimate, whether it be your Jug or your Luna.
Maybe, I guess, yeah, Manta's good against Clockwork as well. If he ever gets caught by Clock and his Blade Fury is off cooldown, he can just split and go to town. I'm not really sure what he should build though. I guess he does have Empower. Maybe just, is Sanjin Yasha that ridiculous as well? I guess Manta kind of serves the same purpose, but a little bit of stats is going to go a long way towards Empower, so maybe just the typical Manta Scotty build is probably what he needs. I think that'd be good, because his damage is good enough with his crit alone that he doesn't really have to buy a straight damage item, and he can still counter the Luna, so I think just Manta Scotty is the way to go. Maybe get a BKB at some point to stop Venomancer damage if he becomes too serious, and the same goes for Blade Mail on Clockwork. He won't be able to kill Clock necessarily when he wants to, so maybe at some point the BKB is going to be needed.
And for Fata, it looks like his next item build up after the Blink Dagger is going to be a Yules. So you don't see that very often on your Magnus. It must be a direct counter to maybe something like a Clockwork who makes a big jumping kind of a play, get Luna out of the fighting.
I think it's mainly so that he can do skewer setups. So that way he can skewer somebody back reliably without having to use RP. I think I haven't seen that many Magnuses play with Yules. You can't
skewer mid Yule, can you? Does it work the same way like a hook from Pudge, where you can still hook them mid Yules? The
other thing that the Yules is good for here is that they don't have that many range disables. Well, they've got Flame Break, they've got Sky Silence, and they have Night Stalker's abilities, which can cancel things like Shackle on the Shadow Shaman. Now you can use Yules for that as well. So it gives them a couple options. It's okay, you could like Yules the Luna if he eclipses, and then everybody runs away and the eclipse is wasted. There's a couple options, but the main thing is that it keeps him survivable, lets him do a couple different cool things, and hey man, 40 movement speed.
Yeah, take what you can get. Well, he's got 5.3K, so he might need to consider investing some of it sometime soon, or maybe he's just looking to gauge as far as what NiP could be throwing together, but they're definitely taking this opportunity to not look to push forward and clear out some of the leftover remaining tier 1s on the side of NiP, but instead prioritizing getting a lot of farm. NiP doing a bit of the same. Era is very close to finishing out the BKB, just about a camp away, and then they probably could look to go for Roche themselves. They already have a creep here that's been dominated, that's kind of on that duty, but it's a longer timer. Ooh, Eternal Envy, hexed up immediately, and now going to be shackled. Did they have the damage to take him down, though? Blade Fury, not enough. Oh, the hook shot, though. There he is, Jonas, coming in to rain on the Eternal Envy parade.
I was
the grab.
I was like, Seal Kid's not attacking. What's he doing? And then the hook came through right where he was standing. He was like, hook him, hook him, hook him.
Like, I'll move out of the way. Get in there.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Another Roche is going to fall. And I'm a little surprised they went for that gank because it was not only nighttime, but Night Stalker uses ulti, so their vision range was very low there. But EE still got initiated on, and things did not end up so hot for him.
Probably saw a lot of the Cloud9 top lane and figured that this was their time to go. There was no tier 1 to TP to for Cloud9, so even if help was going to be coming, it wouldn't be coming soon enough. So with that big EE takedown, they get to follow it up with a nice Roche grab here. Quickly going to get snagged up from Era. And all the meanwhile, Cloud9 are able to get their own side objective. It's going to be a tier 2 traded for that Roche. But if it's anything like we saw last time, Purge, NiP, now with Aegis in hand, I mean, now you got your BKB at a full shiny 10 seconds for Era. They could consider adding some pressure towards the high ground. Probably have to take down the tier 1 top lane first and foremost, but with Cloud9 doing a nice job pushing that top lane, it's going to take a while before they can get it back the other side. So maybe they pass on that altogether. We'll have to see.
The Aegis as well makes a huge difference on this hero. Without an Aegis, this hero is strong but not amazing, but when he has Aegis, Luna just becomes really scary because it's really difficult to initiate. If you blow her up right at the start, she comes back and then still has a BKB. So Luna's looking really strong here. If your plan executes, if your team plan executes really well, you get a big advantage. You take the Roches, you get the Aegises on Luna, then she becomes really strong. But so they have to worry about that basically. Dire team's looking really strong right now.
Yeah, they're slow sieging. They got Venomancer, so you can always quick ward up there to see what's going on. But you can feel Fata maybe trying to be the quarterback at this point. Wants to land another big RP setup. Previous game nailed it. But this time, it's going to be a tougher challenge here as the NiP army move forward. Era confident as he's got that second life.
They're going to pull him, I guess.
Commitment. All right, this is all for the first life.
Oh, they didn't use anything for that except for Lasso. This is pretty good for them. They're going to maybe RP this, but he will BKB, which they will expect. There's BKB. There's an Omni Slash as well. It's an okay Omni Slash, not that great. Might get a cleanup as well. Era pops the ulti going through. Skywrath Mage dies right away. Now Fata in a lot of trouble. Might have to use this out. Doesn't have to. And the tower is almost dead. Era's at half-life. Aegis has paid off big time. It was a really good initiation by C9, but maybe they should have RP'd that actually. If they were going to use Omni Slash, if they did RP and Omni Slash, Luna would stand in place, those illusions would die, and the Omni would do the damage to the right hero. I feel like they should have RP'd that.
Yeah, it was maybe a bit of second guessing there, thinking that they could get it without having to commit the RP, and then they could save it for a follow-up, but
maybe Fata didn't think of the fact that his team had physical damage there. Because they have mostly magic. He was like, oh, if he BKBs, we're not going to kill him. But in reality, Omni Slash would have done the job.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he has evasion or anything like that. So he would have just taken the full brunt of it. He didn't have a Manta either. There were some illusions there, but I think they might have been from Jug. Maybe they just got unlucky on the Omni. Maybe he didn't think he needed to use RP. Could have been a lot of things.
Felt a bit chaotic, so I wouldn't blame him if things felt a bit unnerving for a moment. And that's when you got to have that experience, the quick reaction to know what to do in the heat of the moment like that, where most people like me, we spaz out, we hit any button we can, and just hope to God it works out.
Omni Slash them creeps.
Yeah. Quickly,
just
I just
throw it
RP my own team. Ah, great.
Got him, guys.
Yeah. Well,
that would have been a 5-man.
It was a fake RP. But it's also hard, you know, those Venomancer wards probably being plagued through the C9 base. You never know if that maybe their mobility was nerfed down a bit. It's just hard to say. You only have so many eyes to kind of scout out the situation. But NiP, they are unable to take down the tier 3, even committing the wards for it. They lose their Aegis, so Cloud9 don't lose a whole lot. Surprisingly, Purge, very underwhelming game as far as bloodshed. Only 5 to 8, 24 minutes in. It's definitely more objective-based this go-around, taking down 2 Roches. Cloud9 have pretty much lost the majority of their outer towers. As the game does continue to progress, is there a point where maybe NiP are missing their checkpoint to get the most out of this game, and maybe Cloud9 could surface to be a more dominant late-game force? Or do you think with Luna continuing to farm up as she is, she could kind of go toe-to-toe with someone like Jug?
I think that was a good hold from C9. It gives them a better position in the game, but I don't think NiP is really worried. I mean, it was They lost an Aegis and maybe like 1 or 2 kills happened on each side. So it's very little that actually happened there other than their push failing. So they're going to continue 5-manning probably for a while. No Tail's really close to his Aghanim Scepter. That'll help out their team a lot. It'll give them some advantage eventually, but they just have to keep defending the high ground. As long as their Rexes don't go down, they're going to be just fine, and they're just going to delay the game longer and longer. And I think they'll be okay because they've got a Bat Rider. They're going to have a support Night Stalker who's great to help them choose fights. Skywrath Mage's support is pretty good in a 5 position, and Juggernaut obviously does really good physical damage. He's a good counter to Luna in my opinion, because as long as he stays at about the same item pace, he should beat her in a 1v1.
Fata's popped his Invis. They're hoping that NiP are going to be rolling through this top lane, but they waited long enough. They do get the Blink and Skewer on the limp, and they will get the quick kill. Misery certainly helping out right there with the Mystic Flare ult. Now they make the go into Seal Kid trying to mitigate the damage, but it goes right back onto him. Era not going to be able to get most of the hits there to save his Shadow Shaman comrade, and it's a quick double kill for Eternal Envy.
He just picked up his Manta as well. If he would have had the Manta just in time there, he could have just Manted, dropped some illusions to tank some of the damage. I mean, if those Omni Slashes were just slightly worse, they wouldn't have killed the Shadow Shaman. It was a good ulti from him. Oh, he actually grabs the Luna. This is so big. He's going to be on the high ground. He actually pulls him low ground and said BKB is used.
Can he make it
a little bit of a mistake there. Put a left there. RP catches.
Very nice
BKB
catch.
Still up, almost down. Now it's down. Hookshot comes through. That's going to be Fata for the first time.
Man. And Hanskin dominating on this gen. All right. A little questionable at the end. It was a very nice start. Cloud9 got the double on Eternal Envy, and then they thought they can get the follow-up there in the air. They do force him to pull out the BKB, but it got a bit awkward there with trying to get him on the high ground or not, and then he had all those trees to work with. Fought to try to get a good follow-up, but ultimately by that point, NiP were able to respond. And now here we are, 7-9, and pretty much square even as far as net worth goes. It'd been pretty much NiP controlling it for the most part, given that they've taken down all these towers, but C9 slowly crawl their way back, but here we go. NiP looking to take it back. They smoke up now and possibly head towards the mid lane.
Maybe some indecision there in that last fight by Bone 7. He said, "Oh, I can get the Luna," and they put him to the high ground. And then the rest of the team was like, "This is greedy. They've got a tier 2 tower here. They're going to TP support it. It might not work out. Hookshot. Oh, a little short there.
Short on the Misery.
That was actually a level 2 hookshot. I was thinking maybe it was still level 9 or something, but didn't get the kill, and that's a long cooldown actually, and a big miss.
And Seal Kid will commit the wards. Glyph comes out immediately thereafter. Your tier 3 trying to hold on as long as he can to bring down some of the creeps, but there it does drop. And now Rax being contested here. EE needs to get in there and get on cleanup duty. Starts chopping down these wards. Your melee Rax now down to half life. NiP just slow sieging it, looks like, for now.
Yeah, they can't really chance too much more than that. It's due to the Bat Rider. If they overstay their welcome, it gives C9 more opportunities to pull somebody out of position. So it's a little safer to go back when you lost that many Chen creeps. Your Plague Wards drop down. I mean, at that point, do you really want to deal with RP and Omni Slash when your Shadow Shaman can literally just nuke and hex a guy, and that's pretty much it? It's just dangerous. They have to slow play this, because if they do lose any team fights, the gold advantage C9 would get from it would be enough where their heroes allow them to just stomp the game. So NiP has to play really safe and do these little bit of short pushes.
Looks like for NiP, the name of the game will be Aghanim Scepter here, as they're trying to get one together on Chen. They already have one on Venomancer and Shadow Shaman as well, with a point booster and a couple of components. Is getting pretty close to boosting up those wards. So they're really going all in with their sustain and their pushing power here. Maybe another go at that mid lane, they can get those Rex taken down, but not if Cloud9 have anything to say about it. Trying to push back. They cross the river now, going into NiP territory, knowing that the wards are down.
And they can see everybody because of Night Stalker ulti. Or Ags, that is. And they're going to do ward as well. Gem is one of the best items on this hero. Kind of similar to playing Beastmaster. You just walk around and you're going to find it. If you're close to them at all, you will find the wards. So the wards on the Dire team are going to be really weak here.
Or maybe a KotLGuy with an Ags?
Same principle as well.
We don't see that guy, though, unfortunately. Yeah, they'll be able to kind of take control of the map, remove all the vision here. There's a nice little aggressive Cloud9 ward here to scout out their ancient camp, but Cloud9 just kind of step back. We'll go back to their jungle for now. It's feeling like at this point Cloud9 just feel comfortable farming up and farming and hoping that with maybe a sloppy push from NiP, they can get a big team fight and just charge down the other way and try to take it to the NiP home. It hasn't really been a whole lot of Cloud9 going on their own push. Well, I say that, but now they smoke up Purge, and they're going to head right towards the mid lane, it looks here. Could come across some trouble. Oh, they'll see Hanskin from the high ground here. Do they make the committed jump? They do. There's the jump lasso. They grab Hanskin into Eternal Envy, and you should be able to chop him down. Hand of God comes out, but it's not enough to save him here, so that's a bit of a bounty streak picked up for Eternal Envy, but now he's in trouble. He's got shackled up. Seal Kid under Mystic Flare commits for it. BKB's going to be popped, and there goes the Omni. Eternal Envy slashes down. Will get one. Try to go for two. Gets put in the cogs. And now Jonas gets bopped out from the flame break. Eternal Envy has to run, but here comes the Eclipse. Nice force save. Gets him out of the range. Can Era catch up with him? Still has the blessing. Can get him with the... No! Up! Gets it there. Eternal Envy will go down to the one nuke, and now Misery trying to run up to the high ground here. Goes for a TP while Fata does go down. Misery goes down. 3 for 2 trade. Advantage for NiP. And now they look to strut their stuffs back towards the mid lane.
The fight was basically lost because the Shadow Shaman was able to shackle Juggernaut for quite a while. And also, I believe a lot of C9 was sitting up by the Roche pit while the fight was actually happening by the tier 2. So it took a little too long for the rest of C9 to engage the fight, most likely. And also, a lot of Juggernaut's BKB was wasted while he was Omni Slash. But he definitely had to pop BKB because he was getting too low. But if he just wouldn't have gotten disabled after his initiation killing the Chen, it would have gone way better for them. He would have been able to use the BKB just for fighting and initiating and doing damage, and it didn't work out that way. But still not too bad for them. If you look at the net worth, they're actually sitting very well considering the push strat on the enemy team. They didn't lose barracks. They just had to buy back on Jug, and it's not terrible. He just has to outcarry Luna, who's... Well, Luna's going to be an item up, and now things get a little scary for him, especially because he got a BKB, which isn't going to keep him a damage item ahead. It's like a defensive, let's make sure we win team fights item.
4.8k on Era. We'll have to see what he decides to...
It's going to be Butterfly, probably. That'll keep him very survivable against Jug.
Oh, yeah.
That or Satanic, or maybe even a Scotty is a possibility. But we almost never see a Scotty on Luna. But I think it's definitely Cloud9.
Now, Eternal Envy had bought back, and they make the jump onto the Jonas. Good lasso. Good kill. Just nice quick hit and run. Eternal Envy, though, he's determined. Pops his BKB, runs right towards the Ancient stack. And now they see Roche is up, and they want to take it for themselves, feeling like without Clockwork, they got this one in the bag. NiP, do they let it up? Era's nearby, still no Eclipse. Pops his BKB, considers making it go. Big RP does catch him. Limp moves forward, has to pop the Poison Nova, will do so there, and the wards go down. Hand of God to follow. NiP feel pretty confident about this. Bully C9 away. Era's going to be forced to pull out the Manta to dodge out any of the extra damage, and they do get Fata there. Era picks it up.
Wow.
With the quick nuke.
I didn't think they were going to be able to win that fight at all, but it was actually a bunch of bad abilities from C9 there. The RP only caught one, and there he was RP'd with the creeps around him. It's one way that Magnus and Jug are really anti-synergistic. You actually don't want to clump them.
Yeah.
Unless Jug is just auto-attacking. Maybe that's what Eternal Envy should have done. The RP was fine if Juggernaut auto-attacked. If Juggernaut was going to Omni-Slash and there's 3 Trend Creeps there, it's not going to work. So that was the mistake. Either you could say Fata made a mistake or Eternal Envy made a mistake, but they weren't on the same page, and that lost them the fight, basically, because they needed to kill Era during that RP, or they needed the Omni-Slash to just hit Era alone. It had to be one or the other.
I mean, you do have the Empower, so Eternal Envy could easily just try to right-click him, Mask of Madness, and cleave out is what as much as he can, but if you're not synergistic or not communicating
he didn't have BKB, though, which is probably why he didn't go for that. If he had BKB, he was like, okay, I could have right-clicked this. But he didn't have BKB, so he would have been hitting on a Chen with the entire enemy team behind him. Very good chance he gets hexed or something like that, so...
Yeah,
nothing wrong with pause.
It started with a jump on the Jonas, the Clockwork.
Yes.
And that's when he popped his BKB.
Yes.
So
he was expecting a full fight.
Yeah. So by the time it went down, your Venomancer waltzes in there, pukes over everyone, and there's not really a whole lot you can do for it. So we are going to have a bit of a pause here. So they got to go WC. Water closet, I assume? I think that's bathroom.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the generally British way to describe bathroom. It's a nice way to say it.
It's a nice way.
I guess they used to have bathrooms in small closets, kind of a thing.
Yeah. The restaurant I just worked at, their bathrooms was labeled by WC, both of them.
Okay.
So first you got a lot of question, like which one's the men, which one's the women's.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't understand, it's unisexual. We just say water closet here because we're fancy.
Yeah, I see.
But it's a nice way. Or the office, use the John.
Yes. It just seems so irrelevant to me. I'm not one for nuances of proper politeness and stuff. So
why? What would you say? I gotta go piss.
I'm going to the bathroom.
I gotta take a deuce.
It's not that bad. I'm not gonna go super vulgar or something. But
oh, Purge! How dare you?
Please.
There's children listening.
You have genitals? Oh man.
I don't use the bathroom. Looks like another sec as they were able to return We are watching the clock. Fortunately enough, I don't want to jinx myself. We've been pretty good without hiccups. This is nothing too serious, just a mere bathroom break, as it's been a pretty intense series, and we've hopped into each game one after the other, so it's totally understandable. It looks like Cloud9 are going to be ready to go. 10-13 is where we left off. 33 minutes in. NiP, after that big fight near the Roche pit and picking it up, puts them past 5K net worth. Yeah. And they probably have their eyes on this mid lane. They had already taken down the tier 3. The Raxes are going to be exposed after probably looking to farm up and itemize. And yeah, Agdams is definitely, now even Clockwork getting on the Agdams action here. You know, they pick up that next big item, they feel like they're ready to fight. Really good for Ninjas in Pajamas here. Butterfly and Luna as well, so his chances of dying to Juggernaut are severely lowered. Yep. I'm sure Eternal Envy would love to have a Basher or something like this at this point, but he has to build MKB next, in my opinion. Otherwise, he's simply not going to have a good way to kill Luna. He can't Omni Slash her anymore because Luna has a Manta style, so he needs an MKB to be able to just DPS. And he definitely can kill her with simple right clicks, but she's going to have to be locked down, otherwise she'll just walk away. Her movement speed is really high on that hero. Plus, Eternal Envy did recently use this buyback. If they decide to push within the next 4 minutes, this could be a bit of a sticky situation here for Cloud9, but it looks like NiP not really on to moving forward yet, but though, as I say that, they are heading that way. Shadow Shaman with now an Agdams, and there's the Agdams for Clockwork. These wards, much more potent, though they are still only level 2. Bring a lot of damage. But look at Cloud9, they're just going on the assault. They grab Jonas, pull him back into a Mystic Flare. Wow. He gets taken down immediately, so good pick right there for Cloud9. That might slow down NiP from pushing. One downside of this is that Skye is completely out of mana. That's what happens when you use your ultimate. So he's going to have to go back to base most likely. Yeah, he's going to go back to base, and still a kill is a kill. Yeah. That's a bit of gold advantage for their team. That'll be very nice. Nice little stall tactic. Jug wasn't there, so no gold advantage for him other than the whole jungling thing that he's been doing in the meantime. But yeah. They also did use the Night Stalker ulti, but by the time it's nighttime, it'll be back off cooldown again, so decent usage there, and it gives them a bit of space to farm in. NiP continues to play a very solo game, or a very, very team-centric game, 5-man together. That's because their heroes aren't very good at being solo. They have to worry about Magnus ganking, they have to worry about Batrider ganking, Night Stalker, all these heroes. So they have to stick by one another. Especially the Shadow Shaman. He didn't buy a mobility item, so he's a 356 movement speed walking target until he drops the wards down. He's got to waltz in the good old-fashioned way, try to get those wards down or get a good grab onto someone here. So now it looks like NiP looking to move down this mid lane. Yep. Eternal Envy still has 2 minutes. Clock can definitely catch up too. He's got a hook. He can hook creeps maybe. And they're just quickly trying to keep them back. But NiP, they have their eyes on the prize. And now with Butterfly in hand of Era, no MKB in sight quite yet for Eternal Envy, who also bought out knowing his buyback's not ready. Oh, the bounces are so annoying. They're going to catch everybody's blink. Look, they keep bouncing. Yeah. Bone's having a blink now. But that was so delayed. This is really good, the spin kill wards. They did lose melee barracks. The Aghanim's wards do so much damage. Yeah, it almost doubles the damage. Here comes the Skewer back, actually going on to Air. Can they... Oh, he is going to get his BKB off. There's the last as well. Veno ulti only catches Juggernaut, actually, so a bit unfortunate. He's going to BKB any moment here. There's the RP. That's going to be Aero dying. He's saving Omni Slash for the time after. They've got to get these creeps nearby Aero so that when the Omni comes, that they can defend him. They are going to come last second, and there it is. Omni Slash come through, hitting the creeps. He's died pretty fast, so he does go down. Enough magic damage is going to clean him up, and now the chase is on. No Tails looking for blood. Here comes the first slow on Seal Kid. He's got a lot of HP, but he is so slowed. Here comes a Yule set. Nothing. And they don't even really need it. He actually might be able to chase. Gonna Yule's up. Oh, good blink just in time from Limp. He's gonna get out of there. Only 2 heroes dying, but they lost an Aegis as well. Sick defense there by C9, but they did get Raxed. So yeah, it's still looking okay for NiP. Still looking okay for C9. This game could still go both ways entirely. Wow, he's got that MKB so quick. Dang, he really did actually. Yeah. He farmed really fast. I don't know if he had it for that fight, maybe at the back end of it, but he's definitely got it now, and they are moving forward really fast. Era, maybe at least to get the buybacks to come out. Era does have one. Yeah. Otherwise, he needs to wait 30 seconds, but they do have to work their way through this tier 3 and the glyph, so he might not even need to buy back. But BKB now going to be complete on your Batrider here. They did a great job shutting down Era on his second respawn. The thing that messed him up was he had to use BKB in the first initiation, so his second life he didn't have it. Almost catching somebody, but nobody. Yeah, because he didn't have his BKB up, they just used Ancient Seal, and then all of their magic nukes came out. He went from full HP to low really rapidly there. It seemed like an amazing Omni Slash, but the Omni Slash was hitting creeps a lot, I believe. It was mostly Ancient Seal
with Mystic. I don't think the Mystic Flare hit him there, but Arcane Bolts, even Night Stalker does a lot of range damage. It's magic 335 or something like that. It's a really good nuke. And a Shockwave on top of that, you're talking, you know, 800 magic damage that's boosted by an Ancient Seal, which does 40% magic resistance reduction. That's a huge increase of damage. They bursted him down barely, and that allows them to defend. So their defense relies entirely on Aegis on Era. That's the only way they feel safe pushing. So if he doesn't have Aegis, they're going to get Batrider last set every time, and it's just not going to go good.
But they did get the racks. So do you think it's worth it for NiP just to be able to get that? I mean, even if they get if they make another go like that in the top lane, they just kind of throw their bodies in the base. Hopefully going with another Aegis in hand, they get the next set of racks. I mean, Cloud9 seemed to have a little bit of trouble trying to push back the other way. They couldn't make it to the base. They didn't get to force out any buybacks. Just, you know, Limp being able to slow them down. He has the wards, plus they had to work through that tier 2.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's okay. If they get a 2-rack, they'll be in a really good spot. C9 has really good push because of Empower, but I think it'll be a scary place for them if they do get 2 racks. So NiP is definitely going to do the old throw themselves at buildings until they win the game kind of thing, and this is how they're going to start it. By smokes. They did get spotted, though, from the Radiant Ward, so Cloud9's going to expect this. So possibly split push, pinging on the bot lane. No-Tail's actually a little vulnerable to this. He does have great unobstructed vision, but it doesn't see invisible people until they get so close that he's in trouble.
Yeah. Well, they just bull rush towards the bottom here, and it looks like that's what their next target's going to be.
They're going to sit high ground. This is the best place to be if the enemy team is invisible, because by the time they become visible, they're going to know that the enemies are there, but they don't know exactly where they are, so you'll have a vision advantage. And No-Tail's going to be in the front. Really smart of them to do this. That way, if anybody gets spotted, No-Tail's going to be the one spotting them, and if he dies, it's not the end of the world. They can let his team can clean up.
He actually has a lot of gold held up, too, your Night Stalker, about 4K.
He could definitely turn into a semi-carry here. I think a BKB might be right, or maybe even... Probably not support items. He could actually just buy damage items as well. I wouldn't...
A Maelstrom.
Maelstrom or an Armlet or Armlet Maelstrom or a Vlad's would probably be more like what he's going to buy. Or an AC, maybe something like that. His damage is actually really good with Empower, so an AC or something would be a strong item. Or you get a Halberd, that'd be okay.
Oh,
Once BKB's gone off Era, their damage is gone if he Halberds them. And since the range share lasts extra long, I believe.
And you get your own little extra bit of evasion, and I don't know if Era's going to be getting an MKB anytime soon. I mean, he certainly has some gold for him as well. 4,400 gold now saved up. Shows himself mid lane. C9 pinging out immediately here as they float through the NiP jungle. Looking at the NiP vision, they don't know that they're in there. I mean, they're pinging out as if they know they're in there somewhere, but they can only dish out a couple of Venom wards for now to see if they can kind of get a brief glimpse at where they are. But very hesitant from both sides.
All right. They do have vision now, though.
Yeah, they have it now.
Veno has a gem. They're going to move through the jungle, maybe catch the other Ob Sword, most likely. They will spot it now, and that's going to be a dead ward. Although they might turn and fight. This back goes in. They grab him. If this is a really big kill, if he goes down here, they actually great RP catches him. Omni decides to fall. Arrow's going to die right at the start of it. He doesn't even want to pop his BKB because he's almost dead. Buys back immediately afterwards, chasing after Seal Kid now. Drops the wards down. Misery might fall, but he's attacking too many illusions.
This is chaos breaking out. There will be the Venomancer ult to fly. Era on the chase here, trying to clean up Cloud9, getting the best out of these buybacks. It looks like they can. They take down 2. Fata very low, shadow bladed, but then he will go down thereafter.
They won that fight?
3.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, it ended up being a 3 for 2 if you count the buybacks, but yeah, NiP come out on top. And now they're going to look to go right back towards C9's side. They have to quickly get these creeps out of the base and burn them down. That's what Bone7's doing, but NiP are just beelining it right now towards C9.
Are they going to just try to end the game here? No, they can't do that. They can probably take another Rax, or at least take a tier 3 tower, I think. They did use Shadow Shaman wards already, so that's on cooldown for 70 seconds. That's a big damage output.
Yeah.
But look what else they have. They have an Alpha Wolf creep. They've got a Hellbear Smasher that's attack speed and damage aura. They should be able to do a lot of damage to buildings right now. And the Granic One, these auras are amazing.
Here it comes. 171 plus 163 for Era, as you can start to see the glaives are going to be ready to fly on out here. And there they go. And they get the jump onto Eternal Envy, bumping them back, keeping them away. Dishes out the early here. Fata back from the dead, buys back here. No RP though. They move on in. Lasso's going to catch Era, who already used his buyback. Hand to God. BKB throws out the Eclipse and runs the hell out of there. Now it goes for a re-engagement. Can he make it out alive? They make the run back. Big Daddy gets his BKB, chases him back on out. Jonas heads out from the north side. And Seal Kid goes for a TP. NiP could lose no one, but no, they get Seal Kid here. stop him from TPing. Will end up going down. What damage has been done? Tier 3 and both of the racks barely alive at the end of it.
I thought they were going to do a lot more damage in that fight onto the Luna. I was surprised she didn't die. Maybe he just didn't get any crits or something, but it seemed like he did almost nothing. Maybe he was lacking in power at the time, but I guess he does have very weak damage items. Manta is, you know, other than Mask of Madness and MKB, Manta and BKB aren't that severe in terms of damage, so I think he was lacking in power during that fight or something, or he didn't get crits, not sure which, but the Luna stayed alive a very long time. They do spot her. I don't think they can grab her though. I assume. Oh, Shadow Blade's gonna allow him to initiate. There's the RP. Couple right clicks. Oh, Omnislash, he doesn't have the mana. He actually uses Manta instead, but I think it's still gonna be okay. Oh, he's so fast. He uses Flutter as well. Fada's gonna have to go for the kill. Skewer is gonna get it. Great play by Fada, picking that one up. And Limp as well might also die. Do we have Lasso yet? Nope, not yet. He actually just used it. And that's a send back for Venno. Venno will be fine. Hookshot comes through. Gonna try to clean up Fada. Blade Duel used Battery Assault, but a great Yule's gonna keep him alive. Oh, I thought, what a beautiful flame break. Did you see that? It's like a little nudge to the high ground, like, don't chase my friend.
Just get the hell back.
Go up there.
Unbelievable. And all that was breaking out. Clockwork made the jump on the Big Daddy inside the Roche pit. He got the kill, but then Eternal Envy was able to kind of stick around and finish off the Roche, which was already very low. So both sides end up trading. They're able to bring down Era, who's going to be out 70 seconds without a buyback, and he's still got 4 minutes. So not going to be back anytime soon. Looks like Cloud9 know this, and they're going to push mid lane. And you can already see Limp trying his best, putting down the wards while he can. 10 more seconds, he'll have his Poison Nova back and ready once more. Jonas as well, going to try to be the bodyguard for this mid lane. But it looks like Cloud9.
Hook.
Oh, good hook catch onto Eternal Envy. He's going for the spin. Will be able to walk out after chopping down the cogs. Continues to force himself forward here. Eternal Envy, the man on the run. Can they get him? Jonas now going to get silenced. Mystic Flare. Seal Kid moves in. They're desperate for this. They even commit the wards. They trap Eternal Envy inside. Poison Nova also goes out, but he gets the BKB and the Omni Slash return. Slashes right through NiP.
This is a Summit 3 hype video right here. Oh, the Blade Mail reflects enough damage to clean up Magnus as well.
Unbelievable. Back though. Second life for Eternal Envy. They only take down the one Seal Kid. They lose Fata. Not as big of a run back as Eternal Envy would like. So they have to step away with their winnings right there. Era's going to be back now. They won't have Seal Kid, but everyone else should be up and at the ready here. So,
man, every time I think one team is winning, the other team beats them in a fight. Seriously, this happened like 5 times already this game, where I was like, oh yeah, this is looking really good for C9, then NiP wins a fight, and then vice versa many, many times. So 7k Jug. Scotty, I guess? Is this a Scotty? Time for Scotty? He could get Butterfly as well. I think Butterfly would be pretty strong. It's going to be a while until Luna's able to pick up an MKB.
Yeah.
You know, like a full MKB cost essentially, because she's finishing Satanic. And the other good thing about Evasion is if your opponent can't hit you, you can't lifesteal. So I could see Butterfly being pretty good here, especially with the illusions. Make your illusions hit faster. It's actually going to go on a one-on-one here. Era wants to fight, and there's a spin. He doesn't have a TP. This is pretty scary for him. He's going to maybe have to BKB afterwards. He needs to dodge the Gale. Yeah, there we go. He's going to be fine. Oh, the hook shot's going to hold him in place.
And he's going to bump him back. Oh, he's done for. He goes down. Good grab from him. Wow. Good hook shot set up to block him on the way out. Eternal Envy will be down, obviously. Very wealthy. We'll have buyback. Oh, refresher build up. Double BKB, double Manta.
He was spending his money, or at least he was working on it. Bought a lot of his items. He does have buyback available, though.
Passing up on a Scotty or an Abyssal Blade.
Save the Observer Ward. Oh, good. Never mind.
Very touch and go here. Maybe trying to just at least slow siege down this range Rax. Can't quite get it. Down to 45 life.
That melee Rax has healed.
They want to maybe at least try to get Eternal Envy to spend that buyback or something.
Yeah, I think they're going to get away with it, though. I mean, at this point, their counter push is really good. Flame Break's level 4. They've got Shockwave as well. It's one of the best mana-efficient spam spells in the game. Hookshot's going to miss. That buys them another 15 seconds. At least until clock comes in. Whoa, Misery's really close there.
Seal Kid ends up committing the wards. They jump in the back. They get the lasso onto Era, which pulls him right in.
RP
and RP follow-up.
Omni out solo. That's a kill.
Done. Can't get a Satanic. Can't get a BKB off.
Oh, they lost the Rax.
But yeah.
Okay, this is where things get scary. They're going to clean up as well. Shadow Shaman's going to go down, but again, 2 kills for a Rax. That's worth it.
Much worth.
When you're ahead and you have this kind of a pushing lineup, things get really scary for Cloud9 here.
Yeah.
Refreshers up on Jug, though. That gives him 2 Omni Slashes in a fight if he wants it. Hook shot on somebody.
Yeah, it's on top.
Kill those creeps.
He got him.
What a sick hook. So things are not the best for C9 here, but with the Empower, Jug can push pretty hard. And you know what? Refresher is not that bad anyways. It gives 10 attack speed, 40 damage. Despite it mainly being a caster item, it's okay on carries.
It feels like he's just putting a lot of value in maybe the second Manta or BK or just double Omni, of course.
It's the Omni, honestly, because with the disables they have with Lasso and RP, if it's ever Arrow by himself, he's gonna die. He can't survive Omni Slash at level 3 with all this attack speed and damage.
Does he have the mana? 375 plus 350 2 times over, 700, 1075. He doesn't have enough mana to do double Omni.
I don't even think he needs to, really. He just needs to have it up in every fight guaranteed, and that may be what he's buying the item. Because his damage is reliable, his right click, but Omni Slash is so much more safe. It's like a BKB and a damaging tool in a way, because you're invulnerable while you use it. So as long as he can use it correctly on Era, and then Arrow buys back, he'll have another one. You know,
just be nervous. They need the damage. No arcane boots either, though, on C9. So as long as it's not back to back, should be able to have it for every fight, like you said. Yeah, which is what's important. So they try to pinch and poke at the NIB baseline here, but they're battling against much stronger creeps, given that they've already lost their mid and bottom set of racks now, and kills maybe even at 20 to 20, and so is the net worth, but NiP have been doing much more of the damage. That's a gem on the ground that no one's really had anything to do with.
Going in.
Oh, he gets distracted with the gem, and the jump's going to actually happen on the Fata from Jonas. Gets skewered out, and he pops a Shadow Blade and tries to get the hell out of there, but they're maybe looking to turn. Poison Nova goes out, doesn't really connect, but there's going to be the hand of God. Arrow going to be lassoed up and RP'd again! They continue to grab a hold of Era, not let him to do anything, and now they get the quick follow-up kill, taking down Seal Kid, looking for Jonas next, and Handskin. Cloud9, huge fight for them. Eternal Envy gets his double kill. On the backhand side, though, Envy, a little weak. No man on hand. Might have to walk away. There's a nice Gale. And even without Era, they're looking to push back. Another RP!
Here it comes.
Pulls him back, and here comes the right-click cleave.
Oh my gosh.
And they start slashing right on through. NiP, Jonas, one of the last survivors here, will go down. Killing spree for Eternal Envy. Now they might be able to push themselves towards the NiP side of the base because they desperately need it. But there's already the buyback coming out from Clockwork. Seal Kid might have bought back as well. I'm pretty sure he died in that engagement. He did. So 2 buybacks. But this is it for defense. Everyone else dead, out for at least 30 seconds.
Thought of the Magnus player, man.
It's been crazy, man.
They got refreshers up at the right time. The Shadow Blade ended up being really useful. Most Magnuses do end up going for a Force Staff, but if your opponent clock is good, he can still chase you pretty easily. So as soon as he skewered out of there, Shadow Bladed, got out of there, was able to re-engage later with an RP, and then again a second time with another RP, and that just stomped the team fight. It was going to go kind of equal, but in C9's favor, but it completely turned in a huge advantage for them, and now there's another 5,000 gold on Juggernaut, so... Boots of Travel to follow, most likely, and then a vague chance that he would replace Mask of Madness. Maybe a Butterfly or something, who knows?
If that fight recap was right, that was a 10k net worth swing. That feels a bit dramatic. Because for a game that was pretty much even to that point, but if you look at the net worth graph, it's like, wow, straight up rocket. Right from midway to near 10k for C9. Crazy. And now Eternal Envy picks up his Boots of Travel. A lot of focus is going to be around this Roche. Your Purge. They're waiting for the secondary timer, but NiP secure this Roche. They could make another kamikaze go at the final set of racks and get the Megas. Or if Cloud9 are able to snag it, then they are going to be able... I mean, they have a lineup where if they get a big fight, they don't even need to worry about going for Megas. They could just go right for the jugular of NiP.
And they really can't split push either. Their team is basically a 5-man up the hill to take a racks lineup, so... It's very tough for NiP here. They've got to get in good position. Maybe they can do some tricky things with BOTs if things get extreme, but with a Night Stalker being on the enemy team and a Bat Rider, and they have these good team fight abilities like Omni Slash and RP, it's going to be really tough for them to win from here on out because they lost that last fight. They're going to spot him out, and that's trying to catch some, but isn't able to.
Good defensive movement because Cloud9, once they got that big fight, they took the time to put down these pretty aggressive wards, and the second they saw Era going for the jungle, they tried to get a hold of him, but he was able to pull away. So Cloud9 just looking for a chance if they can take down that Luna, which by this point, though, Era should have a buyback. Okay, 500 gold, we'll have it. Doesn't have to worry about not having that secondary life, but if they can get the Aegis, which conveniently there's a DD rune right by this Roche pit, so
yeah, that'll
Someone's got to get it and make a go at it. It's going to be hard, though.
The buyback isn't what Luna needs. Luna needs buyback and another item.
Yeah.
His items are getting behind now. His net worth is definitely behind Jugs. In a one-on-one fight, he can't even deal with him. It's actually really more like a two-on-one fight.
Oh, man, he hit so hard. And power and DD on Eternal Envy here.
Yeah.
This Roche is going to take another 30, 40 seconds or whatever. But Cloud9 don't want to pull away. This is a big Roche that they must have. NiP. Do they consider contesting? You got a Clockwork, got your own bit of wards. It's very congested, which can work out for your Poison Nova, but Cloud9 trying to get their best at a crucial positioning. They have Big Daddy scouting out from the front, their big view. They can gauge as far as where NiP are going to be coming from here. You can just see by their vision. They can easily see up near the secret shop. Got to be anticipating possibly NiP go for a wraparound, but nope. They're coming right down the secret shop side.
Big Daddy using his ulti. This reduces the vision of the Dire team by a huge amount. He's going to almost catch Clockwork. 4 steps forward. Mask of Menace as well. He'll grab anybody. Does he really care? Hook shot to stop him. And he's got to run now. He does lasso somebody. Refreshes as well. 4 staff any second. And that was pretty lackluster ultimate there.
Yeah, that's not the lasso they wanted, but they do get the jump onto Era and the Omni. And he does take the whole thing and goes down once more. He's going to buy back again. Wards are going to be dropped. Cloud9, do they pull back? It looks like they will. They want to force Era to not have a buyback for a an upcoming engagement here. NiP don't want to allow him to get away, but they get the Venomancer, but there's a nice hook catch onto Big Daddy. Clockwork and him go toe-to-toe. Meanwhile, they get Fada down. Does have a buyback. Big Daddy trying to slowly run away here. This is all towards that bottom lane, which still has no racks or anything. There's another hook shot. They will eventually take down the Night Stalker. That's their gem also on the ground.
That was a big fight for him. They did get RP'd, but again, they cleaned things up. They got back out of there.
Immediate buyback. Oh, they want to stop them from doing Roche. They're going right for it. Eternal Envy pops his Manta. Will bring those illusions right towards the pit side. But look at this. NiP pull out. He's going to scout it. They'll see Roche is up. And Era, who would, 2-3 times it feels like, when he gets caught from the lasso, the quick Omni follow-up, hasn't been able to Satanic, hasn't been able to BKB. So he has all that stuff ready to go.
I don't know what he needs to keep alive, but it feels like he needs a... I keep thinking, like, he needs a BKB. He's got a BKB, but you can't predict the Bat Rider going in, except for the last fight. They did a good job with that. They had a lot of really good Plague Wards, so they knew exactly where the Bat was. They were able to escape. If it wasn't for Plague Wards, they definitely would have lost that fight. It wouldn't have even been close. They would have lost somebody due to the Bat Rider Refresher double lasso or double 4 staff pull people away thing.
What about Era going for a refresher himself then?
That's not gonna... That's not the item. I think he needs Scotty or something. Scotty would be okay here.
Boom, there he goes.
Give him damage, give him armor, give him HP. Int is wasted, but I don't even know if that... that's actually probably okay. If you can stay alive long enough to survive Omni Slashes and get the Satanic off, you might be able to see him win, but...
That has not been easy.
It's tough.
It's not been easy. And how very fitting for a game number 3. Game 1, we saw a quick stomp from NiP. Game 2, Cloud9 put NiP into submission. And now it's game 3, about an hour into this one. Very tense. This is what counts. Smoke. Cloud9 moving towards the Roche side. Is this a sneaky Roche play? Big Daddy commits the ult. They scout out Limp here. Looking to make a committed jump. He blinks to the other side. Trying to disorient. The lasso will catch Handskin. They pull back to Chen here. Eternal Envy wants to chop him down. He lives. Can he get the hand of God off? He's still silenced. He goes down. But now Era moving on in will finally have the opportunity to unleash the damage. ORP, but it isn't to the Eclipse. Fada gets 2 of them off and annihilates them. They quickly wipe out 4. Cloud9 should be able to now move into the Roche pit, get the Aegis, and finally take it to the NiP base. Era is out nearly 2 minutes. No buyback.
It's kind of scary. He's taking a lot of damage from the wards. They're getting him low. 120, and Jonas and Fan still alive. He can go for the hook shot or something. Potentially, if EE dies to this, it could be pretty significant, but he is going to get picked off.
Oh, that's
slightly outplayed.
Man, wipe then.
All right. Will EE chance the right click?
Oh, man.
Buyback from Clock. He's actually pretty good at defending this.
They can't do it. I mean, their lanes are still being pressured mid lane. Bone 7 had to pull back and keep him out from the base. It doesn't look like any of the tier 4s have eaten a lot of damage, but a lot of those little buffer towers have already been brought down, so any creeps that do get into the base go right for those tier 4s. And they actually can't go for the Roche quite yet. This could stall. This will stall enough time for NiP to get back for any sort of base defense, but is it enough to stop them from still going for the Roche here? It looks like Eternal Envy will be able to heal up. Big Daddy pops his ultimate, and they could go at it from here.
All right, NS will scout it out for now. A long time for the respawns. I feel like he maybe could go for it, but I mean, it is only a clockwork, right? Once his HP was full, it wasn't that dangerous to do it.
He's pretty beefy for the clock. With near 3k life. He's got the ultimate orb now.
Yeah, him killing clock isn't very likely actually, because clock actually has force and a ghost scepter, so and he can also hook to creeps on a 12-second cooldown, so he has a pretty good chance to get away if needed.
This ultimate orb grab, is he going for a Lincoln Sphere? Maybe to have for Era in case the lasso does come.
I would guess Hex, if anything.
I mean, Hex obviously would be amazing.
Although Lincoln's is not a bad idea. That's a good point. Put Lincoln's on the guy that it's the super BKB I was talking about. A way to stop the Batrider, but Batrider still has tons of options against it. Well, not amazing. He didn't go Yules, but and most importantly, you blink and you force to break the Lincolns is what you do, and then you lasso. It gives you an extra second. It takes somebody with really high mechanics on the bat to blink force lasso really fast
and then
not mess
refresh
it up.
Secondary lasso.
Yes,
secondary force.
Exactly. That part's kind of tough.
Bone 7 better have his hands warmed up and ready to go for a team that's notoriously known for their hand warmers. I hope it's flexible and ready because he could have his hands full. And look at Envy. He's got 9k gold saved up here. We'll have to see where he looks to go for. Is it is it almost at the point where you replace your Mask of Madness and
I kind of
bring in a Basher or a Scotty at this point?
I mean, you could get Abyssal Blade, you could get a Scotty.
Yeah.
Both of those items would be good. If you're Omni Slashing somebody and you have a Scotty, you're going to slow them through that, or you'll bash them through that, likely. Which is a good way to keep somebody by themselves, slow them down, get the kill, keep them separated from the team.
All right, well,
he'll be a lot more
back up and
too.
ready for a brawl. Era, no buyback anymore for him. Has got to be something that's on their mind. So maybe C9 feel pretty comfortable as they wait it out. They are about to have the refreshers cool down. Fata double RP was the biggest key component there for Cloud9 in that last fight, and he'll have it again here. And NiP have to make sure that their positioning is solid, that they cannot get caught out, because what ends up happening is Bone 7 leads in very nicely with a lasso, and then NiP just kind of charge on in to help out, and that's when Fata makes his jump. They got to make sure that they are ready for it.
We're 60 minutes into the game. Doesn't feel like super late, but
no.
It's been delayed. Hookshot comes in on No Tail. He can BKB. This isn't that scary to him. He does pop BKB. There's the first slow. Jonas Fan is a little stuck. 4 steps out. Batrider goes in, though. Gonna grab the Shadow Shaman. Good pick off. Very, very easy kill here. And he is on the chase now, looking for a Omni Slash. Jonas Fan hiding in the corner. Actually goes in. Omni Slash on the Chen. Easy pick off. Immediate refresh as well. And Roche is up. It's very heavily nighttime right now. No Tail uses ulti, so even less vision for NiP here. They can put wards in the camp, but it's kind of scary. If Batrider refreshes... Oh, he's already refreshed, actually. He has used his lassos.
You also have to keep in mind, probably clockwork in the area here. Man, Bone 7 sets up both of those lasso plays, and when I say at the start, oh, RP, they see Era, they bring him down, they have a second one. They are just going to focus everything they can. Jonas tries to help out, but it's not going to happen. Secondary Omni Slash comes through, cleans out one, almost takes out the clock, and now they're going to focus Limp. 4 NiP are out all day.
That's going to be Aegis, most likely. That's most likely a Rax as well, assuming their push goes decently well. They should just force it. I mean, Era's dead for a while. There's no buyback, right?
No.
Yeah, he doesn't have buyback.
He's got a couple of... No, he's got gold. Oh, wow. Jump in. Valiant effort from... Yeah, not happening. A little too late.
Got slapped real fast.
Oh, that. Yep. The dream was there for the big noob from UA moment, but it's not going to happen. He goes down. No buyback clockwork too.
That was maybe not worth it. If he did get the Aegis, it would have prevented an Aegis on C9, but I don't think that's the issue with the fight. Them winning a fight base level without an Aegis is the issue now, so I don't think that was worth chancing your life on, but they're pretty behind at this point. Again, they do still have a 2 racks, which is a really nice advantage for them, but this is definitely C9's game to lose right now.
Eternal Envy, who's flaunting out over 11k of gold, still held up. Not looking to spend...
He likes the mask?
Yeah, doesn't want to commit out the mask yet.
It's hard to compare the damage increase that a mask gives you, even though it's a you know, 1800 gold item or whatever. It's kind of silly that a 6k gold item doesn't give you more attack speed in a way, but I mean, you get a Mjolnir, it's actually very comparable, but then you don't get the movement speed, so.
You get more damage, but he hasn't really been eating damage in these fights because he's been able to Omni. So being able to get a hold of Envy is a tricky situation in itself. And, you know, now they're going to chop down this tier 3. First time Cloud9 going to be able to do something. Oh, good jump in. Hex on the Eternal Envy. They get the wards down. And he has no Aegis or anything. Poison Nova from Limp on the back line. So Fata can't easily blink in there. And Limp will go down from the Omni Slash. Now, Fata,
so fast. Actually, E might go down.
Oh, they can't quite get him. Era is able to step away. Unleashes out the Eclipse. Fata goes down. Has the Aegis. And we'll be alone here. Oh, quick blink out to get away. And it's quickly followed up from Seal Kid. And now, forced back towards the wards. Jumping out and away here. It's a bit of a tango between both sides. NiP don't want to commit too far forward. They lose their tier 3 top lane. Look at all these catapults and siege creeps making their way into the base. They got to stop it. So Era chops it all down. No racks go down for NiP after that. And Cloud9 will lose their Aegis. They did also take down Eternal Envy, but obviously he has buyback. Probably won't even need to use it here. Still holding that wealth of gold.
I think that was an example of E needing to not use Mask of Madness. They're going to last out one hero. It's going to be Chen, most likely dead. Maybe not. Might stay live a bit longer here. Clockwork actually goes in as well. Hook shot. Era chasing. Doesn't use BKB. Doesn't need it. They're going to chase Big Daddy. They should be able to hook him and get this kill, I think. But they have to land the hook.
Oh, anticipates Big Daddy to go down to the low road, but
with stay time, they can still chase now.
But they'll keep chasing as long as they can.
I think he's dead. He's not going to be able to juke into that one.
Yeah. No, we'll see that area, and ultimately he will be swarmed. And he does go down. The gem on the ground again. Okay. How many times the gems have been handed back and forth at this point?
NiP coming back again.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those games, guys. 64 minutes in.
This is your fault. They seem to follow you around there, Purge.
I'm here. Yep. 4k gold on Luna. Close to his next item. You know, I think C9 should have won that last fight, but he used Mask of Madness, and he took a little bit too much damage from the wards and the Luna Glaives, I think. I think it's time to sell the item, honestly. Like, it gives you 30% movement speed, and that's amazing, but the 100 attack speed can easily be replicated by getting Mjolnir or something else.
Lasso grab onto Jonas here. Pulls your Clockwork back, and he forces right up and actually gets Eternal Envy with the hook shot. Drops the cogs and is like, see you later. Good grab for him. Even the Hand of God to come out, but there's Fata. Jumps in, gets the Yule, throws him up. Bone 7. Pops his BKB. In the meanwhile, Eternal Envy gets a hold of Seal Kid, who commits the wards, but he does go down. Gem on the ground again. Now Jonas trying to walk away. Seal Kid buys back. Fata under Shadow Blade. Gets out the RP. Limp could be in trouble. Goes down. Era, very low. Gets dropped. Does have buyback, but Fata very low. Gets bumped out from the cogs. Jonas trying to get him. He's able to get away. Barely alive. And Jonas will be focus fired from this point and quickly brought down. Hand of God, though. And here's Seal Kid back from the dead. Gets a Hex and a Shackle, but that's all he's doing is holding him. No damage. Seal Kid, this might be a dieback for him. Nope. Looks like Cloud9 are not going to commit for anything here. And they pull back and away. Did Era buy back? He didn't end up going down.
He did buy back.
Oh, he did buy back. That was a quick buyback. That's why C9 pulled away.
NiP's doing a really good job of making sure that they don't lose 5 heroes every fight. It's more like 2 or 3, and that keeps them in the game. Normally in a strat like this, you take a bad team fight and you lose all 5 heroes, but they've been doing a really good job of just retreating and saying, okay, we're losing this fight, everybody get back up, and then they cover each other as they retreat. Yeah. Normally you get a lot more kills.
Alright, finally NiP might be able to bring some attention towards this top lane where the last racks stand. They first have to go through, but there's the lasso, catches Era. This was his buyback. Mystic Flare.
Got sent back.
And he's sent back from Chen to safety. Will they get anyone else? They get Seal Kid. Seal Kid will go down. That's his buyback. He's out 100 seconds. But they do save Era. It doesn't really cost C9 a whole lot, as it only cost him, what, the lasso and a Mystic Flare.
Yeah.
Both very low cooldown.
Omni Slash, but he's got a refresher.
Yep.
Yeah, it's done for 90 seconds.
So he'll have that back.
They're going to send their base. They're going to push creeps. Not terrible for them. I'm sure they like to farm.
Oh, man. This is one of those games. 67 minutes in. All for just the first round here of the Summit 3 European Phase 2. So now attention will slowly be back towards the Roche side of things, though we still have plenty of time. I'm sure the players even feel like, you know, of course, unless they got those timers down, that might have been a long while since it was done. I don't even know how many times Roche has been taken down this game, but
a lot. 4, maybe.
4. We're getting ready to that 4.
I've
5
seen
mark.
Luna have at least 3. We just saw one on Cloud9. I think this will be the 5th Roche.
Okay.
Which is quite a lot for a 70-minute game. Almost every chance they get, they take it out. Nothing new on Magnus here. Nothing really new on Sky. Just a 4-staff mostly. Anything new on Jug? No, he likes his items. He likes the movement speed from Mascomanus, I guess. Definitely very good for chasing. It's not really anything that compares to 30% movement speed.
Yeah. He's got that
maybe that
offshore count of gold, though.
Maybe that's how you nerf Mascomanus. I feel like Mascomanus is going to definitely get nerfed in the next patch. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but considering how many people buy Mask on every hero right now, it has finally been... I mean, nobody touched it for a long time. They're like, oh, I don't want to take 30% damage. But now everybody's really happy about it. Like, okay, I'll trade that.
Wasn't it also nerfed that not too long ago they made it so you take less damage? Like, it used to be amplified even worse than what it is now. Yeah, I'm pretty positive they did bring it down a bit. I don't know how recent it was, but...
I never built the item, honestly.
But even then, after the change, people were like, nah, and then now it's just all the rage.
Yeah.
So...
It does a lot of damage. Maybe reduce the duration or something, or increase the cooldown before you nerf the...
Oh, look at this smoke from NiP. Jonas oh no! Doesn't catch it with the hook. The creeps are in the way. Now, quick jump in. They're trying to get Era. They get it. He gets the Eclipse off, though. And a BKB. RP not going to be there quite for Fata. Has to step away. They want to get the hell out of here as NiP look to Swarm. Poison Nova goes out. They're going to get Big Daddy here. He's trying to run and get away. Eternal Envy, who is already brought down. And Big Daddy, no buyback. They bought out. Oh, that hook shot. Few inches behind your Fata Magnus.
That fight was won by Seal Kid there. He blinked and he hexed Envy, and that guaranteed the chain stun. And from there, it's an easy... It doesn't take much to kill Envy here. He doesn't have that many survivability items other than the BKB and maybe the Manta. So if he's disabled, he's dead. And he tried to min-max his BKB, but they got the disable and he wasn't able to DPS. And there was still a good ulti from Bone 7, but then Bone 7 was like, alright, where's my DPS? Oh, they're all dead. Okay. Lasso is wasted. And this might be the final racks. Oh, there's a tier 2 tower top that's so big. They can't do the triple... They can't mega creep this. They have to go for the throne.
They're going for the 4s.
They can buy back.
Era's there.
He needs to buy back.
He does. He has to buy back. Look at Clockwork. He's trying to be the gatekeeper and keep him back in the fountain and away. They take both tier 4s, and they might walk away with that. Oh, Omni flies out. Pops the refresher. Not committing the second one quite yet. Hanskid could be in trouble here. Gets the ghost off. Fata moves in. Hookshot coming out from Jonas. It's a 2-on-1 inside the cogs. Now they're left in. There's the second Omni, able to finish off your Chen. Era pops his own, moves back, trying to get Eternal Envy. No more mana. Seal Kid walking his way back out. Misery, no mana either. Era moves charging on forward. If Eternal Envy goes down again somehow, he's out for a while.
They're going for the throne?
He's going right for the throne.
It's going to be close. If they can defend this.
Jonas is going to stop him. He's moving in, gets the cogs, bumps Envy back
double
2 times.
3. Oh, he gets the kill.
Down. It's
oh
over.
My God, that's good game.
NiP have done it.
They did it.
70 minutes in.
Holy crap.
Don't need Megas.
What a defense there.
That guy, he's like, a bouncer.
I'm not letting you touch my Luna right now. Double cog into a hook shot, and all of a sudden Envy was just dead.
Oh my God.
16k in the bank. It doesn't even matter. It does nothing.
They had no resources, no way to fight, and when they wanted to just get back in the fountain and heal on up to rejuvenate, he's like, no, not going to let it happen. You got to make your way through me, and I will die for it, and it is certainly justified.
And that's the best of 3. They're done. C9 going to the lower bracket.
Lower bracket now, yeah.
NiP moving on. That's a big loss. There's always the fan vote if things go bad for C9.
Which they won last time.
Which they won last time. But they don't have AUI to pander anymore, so it might be a little harder.
And no more fun Disney storylines if that has to be the case. But they're still not out yet. They get to go to the lower bracket, but man, what just our first series for Phase 2 Europe is certainly quite the barn burner down there to the end. But we're not done yet. We have another best of 3 to come in. Well, let's see how much time here. Actually, I think we got about a half hour. So it's 12:23 here. It happens at 1 p.m., so 45 minutes, 40 minutes, 35 minutes, whatever you want to say. And then we have Alliance taking on Na'Vi, Purge, El Clasico.
That's going to be really good.
Not the same teams they once were, but still should be a lot of fun and a great matchup. That's coming up next. I'm KotLGuy. Catch me on Twitter at KotLGuy. That's Purge. He's at Purge Gamers. And we're beyond the summit. We're going to be right back in just a moment with more Dota action. Stick around.